everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. There is no place for hate and discrimination in Los Angeles. The Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles city officials and members of the LAPD, amongst others, gathered in a town hall to discuss the recent anti-Semitic crimes in our city. The shared sentiment from everyone gathered was one of unity moving forward to make sure all forms of anti-Semitism stop.
It is so important that we act aggressively and immediately at the first sign of anything.
We're here today gathering in the wake of a recent spate of anti-Semitic attacks, 2 shootings in 2 days, a Nazi flag outside of one of our cultural icons.
We're here tonight, we're really trying to achieve a number of different things. We want to bring together the community that's really been living in an environment of fear for the past week with these shootings.
It's an opportunity for all levels of government, the community organizations like the Jewish Federation and others coming together to talk about how we're going to move forward as a city.
We're here tonight at the invitation of the Jewish Federation in the aftermath of this horrific set of shootings that happened just last week here in the West LA portion. Through the outstanding work of our personnel, they were able to identify and arrest the individual we believe responsible. But we know that with anti-Semitism going up each year and the higher numbers of hate crimes that are occurring, that these are very unsettling times.
The appropriate people are listening.
I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure our community is safe.
We also want to educate the community as to what the correct paths are to report anything if you see something happening, if you have suspicions.
If they're a victim of a hate crime or hate incident, and that includes verbal assaults or just someone yelling and screaming some hateful rhetoric, the Los Angeles Police Department wants to be aware of that. They see something, say something, they participate in this that allows us to identify those persons responsible and to bring them to the criminal justice system.
To make sure that acts like this start diminishing in frequency rather than accelerating.
If you see something that looks suspicious, find a way to report it.
The first modular housing project approved in Los Angeles is now ready to open its doors to 50 senior and senior veteran residents. This is yet another victory in Los Angeles' goal to help the homeless population in our city find a safe and permanent place to live. Let's take a look.
We are opening this new building, 11010 Santa Monica Boulevard, which is a 50-unit seniors and senior veterans housing project for formerly homeless. It was first conceived in 2019. I think we broke ground in July of 2021, and here we are opening it up, which is an amazing time for a construction project.
It's the first modular housing project that was approved. So the units are built in a warehouse and then they're assembled like Legos over a very short period of time.
This is an example of how we can have housing everywhere in the city.
It saves money, it saves time, and hopefully this will be a model for HHH housing in the city in the future.
Best thing about having 4 walls and a roof over your head?
Oh man, warmness and out the cold. And nobody can be bugging you, stealing from you. Most of all, I hate people steal from me. I work hard to help hold on to things like that. I do my part by keeping it up, my part up to keep it clean.
Just have to drive around the city and see the tents. So people are going to be moving from those tents into these units. So not only is it better for the tenants, but it's better for the neighborhood. It's better for the city.
The Los Angeles City Council votes to expand renter protections. Laurel Canyon Dock Park undergoes renovation improvements, and several LA Council members propose to revise police reforms. These stories up next on City Beat.
City Council voted to explore how to implement Measure ULA, a ballot measure that passed in November, which taxes property sales over $5 million in LA. The motion would use ULA funding to expand renter protections, including a program that would establish right to counsel for tenants. Measure ULA would allocate 10% of revenue from the tax to fund a council program for lower-income tenants threatened with eviction. The motion notes LA has 30,000 eviction notices annually, with many Angelenos unable to afford a lawyer, which leads to potential homelessness. To stay up to date on the work of LA City Council, visit lacity.gov/government. Laurel Canyon Dog Park, the oldest off-leash dog park in LA, received a welcoming makeover just in time for warmer weather. Thanks to the efforts of the LA Department of Rec and Parks, LA Parks Foundation, and City National Bank, the renovation provides an improved setting for pets. The enhancements feature new wheelchair-accessible seating, new benches, a dog wash station, and a pergola that provides better shade. To date, the LA Parks Foundation has raised over $45 million to support city parks, and City National Bank has donated more than $320,000. To find a dog park near you, go to laparks.org/dogparks. The LA City Council has proposed a motion to revise the all-civilian Board of Rights within the Los Angeles Police Department. The motion aims to increase accountability in officers. Currently, over 75% of disciplinary situations result in reduced charges. The motion was introduced by Council members Tim McCosker and Hugo Soto Martinez and seconded by Council President Paul Krikorian. Mayor Karen Bass and LAPD Chief Michael Moore have expressed support for reforms to Measure C, which created the All-Civilian Board. For more info on the work of City Council, visit lacity.gov/government.
Back in 1965, it took 4 fathers whose children weren't allowed to practice baseball on a nearby field to create the first all-black team that made it to the Bronco World Series. Today, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez unveiled the square dedicated to the North Valley Bronco Little League team and their historic achievement.
Boy, is it a glorious day in Pacoima. Can we give today a big round of applause? Come on. So the North Valley Bronco Little League team in 1965 made history here in Pacoima when they went to the World Series as an all-black Little League team. 1, 2, 3.
If I don't have this park, I don't go on to be drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, go to USC and play on 3 national title teams. I started right here. For some 1965 kids that went all the way to New Bedford, Massachusetts, under the segregation laws of the time. And we were little boys. We didn't really know what racism and segregation was. But we went forged our way and became established from Pacoima, California.
This is what we envisioned when we started our organization in 2016. Preserving our history is something that everybody should be a part of. There are so many great stories that need to be told, and honoring these kids really lays the groundwork for many more stories and many more acknowledgments of the history of this great town of Pacoima.
Well, kids of today, they can be whatever they want to be. All they have to do is just be persistent, stick with it, eat your vegetables, and listen to your parents. It's very important. My team that I'm coaching now, I'm gonna try to send them to the World Series. That's what I want to do, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get them boys to go.
We're no stranger to history-making moments. This is just one among them, and I'm just so proud that we're able to memorialize that history here in this intersection for everyone who either walks, plays, or drives through this area, to recognize that we are valued, that we are special, and that we can do anything.
Charlotta Bass was a true pioneer in both journalism and civil rights activism. To honor her incredible accomplishments during African American Heritage Month, the city of Los Angeles celebrated the first Charlotta Bass Day, a role model whose legacy will continue inspiring older and younger generations alike.
Charlotta Bass was a pioneering newswoman. She was the first Black woman to own a newspaper on the West Coast and arguably the nation. She also was a nominee for vice president before Vice President Kamala Harris in 1952. Today is the very first Charlotta Bass Day, and we are celebrating one of the tallest, largest journalism icons here in the city of Los Angeles. We have our councilmen, as well as her descendants, who range in age from 2 to 100 years old.
This recognition would be appropriate at any time, but especially during Black History Month. She was a real pioneer, ahead of her time. She was an advocate, a force for doing right. She was a publisher, and she really made a difference in the lives of individuals that she served. And tomorrow at City Council, we're going to be declaring it Charlotta Bass Day, again, in honor of the outstanding achievements she made, not only to the city, but to citizens all over the world.
Today is really the cherry on top. Getting our city councilmen to name Charlotta Bass Day a citywide holiday is incredibly exciting to us here, not just as an academic university, but as a school that appreciates and celebrates Black storytelling.
They identified her as a person who really made a difference as a positive role model, not just for students, but for the community at large. Honored to be here today as we celebrate a real shero in our community.
To learn more about the remarkable life and accomplishments of Charlotta Bass, you can visit the National Women's History Museum page at womenhistory.org. El Pueblo in downtown Los Angeles is one of the most vibrant and colorful parts of our city. It recently added some more textures to its soundtrack and atmosphere with El Corazón Baila, a music event which included a dance competition. Music, food, and community engagement were the perfect beats to make the heart of attendees dance.
This is part of the historical culture of El Pueblo. We're trying to engage this part of town. It has this beautiful arts and crafts that they have for the family, the restaurants, so we're trying to engage more traffic and bring the community to embrace El Pueblo and take advantage of the delicious food, coffee shops, taquitos. I hope that people can come and enjoy it. So we're gonna give away certificates for the first, second, and third place winners. There's gonna be a dance competition that's gonna bring norteña, cumbia, salsa, merengue, that people love to dance in this part of the community.
What brought me here was the atmosphere, the music, and the great event that City 14 hosted. And the dancing, the music, it's great. Everybody's having a great time and they love it.
We're gonna give away coffee, pastries, enjoying music. It's just something to embrace. That, you know, after COVID, you know, a lot of people love to gather together. Music and culture and food brings everybody together.
If you've always wanted to sit down for a conversation with a cop, you can thanks to the initiative Coffee with a Cop. The Los Angeles Police Department wants the community to learn about the work they do, as well as offer a chance for officers to interact with people in a relaxed environment that helps them learn about community issues. Take a look.
Today's event, it's called Coffee with a Cop. And so what we do is we branch out to the manager at any local Starbucks venue, and we try to see if we can actually have an event like once a month. The whole idea behind having a Coffee with a Cop is just try to engage with the community, just to see if they have any questions or concerns, but also give them some information about crime stats or safety tips that we can actually help and educate them.
I think it's a great opportunity, obviously, to bring in the community and the businesses and also the residents in the area. That way we can discuss some of the issues that we might be facing in the community and what they're doing to help, or maybe there's questions that we might have that we didn't think that they were aware of, and see what resolutions, if there are any, or a more personal, smaller forum for us to be able to talk to the police in general
just so they are aware of what's going on.
It's great to come into a coffee shop and interact with people that are here to serve and protect us. And I'm actually looking forward to the next one where I'm going to be bringing my kids.
So it's an opportunity for community members to ask particular questions to the officers that patrol their streets. Like, what do you see out there? What do you want them to check? Any procedural changes, any crime trends anyone should be aware of? That is to better that relationship and better working together.
I think it's a way to sort of break the barriers and just sort of let your guard down a little bit. Either have a coffee with the community, just let them come up to us and be able to have a conversation where it's not through a traffic stop or some kind of radio call that we have to go to and try to have a conversation with somebody.
In this week's feature story, our own Maria Holmbrown sits down with Council Member Eunices Hernandez to learn about the journey to her current position. The Council member also discusses some of the issues she hopes to address and the importance of connecting with her constituents to educate them about all the resources available. Let's hear the story.
Well, the midterm elections introduced us to a lot of new faces with the LA City Council, and I'm delighted today to be joined by the representative of District 1, Eunices Hernandez. So lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me,
And congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it's been a couple months, but what was it that made you want to become a council member and represent the district that you live?
I was born and raised in this district and have lived there for over 30 years. And I saw members in my community, the same people in my neighborhood, friends and family who kept being left behind and experiencing crisis over and over again, whether it's loss of jobs, being impacted by the foster care system, having mental health or problematic substance use and not getting met with support. Those are the things that drove me to run, because I saw that the influence, especially the local influence that a council member has on their constituents, and I felt that, living there my whole life, I've seen how we've been left behind in many cases.
You had some, pretty bold things that you wanted to address. And so how is that going? Are any of your early term goals being reached?
Right now, we are setting up our goals for our first year, 100 days, our 4-year goals, 8, 12. But right now what we're focusing on is meeting constituent services. For many parts of our district, folks don't know how to engage their council offices. They don't even know what their council offices are responsible for or what they can help with. And so what we're doing is we have built a very strong field team, so that when people call us, when they email us, they get a response. Whether it's, look, I don't have an answer for you now, but let me work on it, I'll get to you. But I do weekly videos, weekly recap videos of letting people know what we've done that week, both in council and in our committees. We started a series called City Hall 101, where we take on different items and educate people on, look, this is where you can find city council files. We're teaching folks how to use 311. We're teaching folks how to use different city tools so that we're meeting people where they're at.
So there's an enormous, outward effort for education, but what have you learned? I mean, because obviously you are passionate, and that's apparent with a capital A. So what's been a surprise?
What has been a surprise?
All
so
of it,
many
I bet.
things have been a surprise, yeah. It's patience, I feel, because there's a lot of barriers to moving things, but that does not deter us. It's like, how do we get across this? How do we get around this barrier to achieve our goal of supporting our constituents and responding effectively? So again, reminding myself, this is a marathon, you have to have patience. I think that's, for me, one of the biggest learning curves right now.
All right, now if anyone wants to find out what's going on with CD1 or find out what's happening with you, what's the best way for them to find out?
The 2 best ways that folks can find out what's happening in CD1 are to go to our Twitter or Instagram, which is CD1 Los Angeles, and they can go to our website at cd1.lacity.gov.
Attend the Harbor Cup at the Port of Los Angeles. Enjoy Coffee with a Cop with LAPD officers, or learn about America's vanishing food at the Central Library. All this up next on Things to Do.
Don't miss the Port of Los Angeles Harbor Cup, one of the preeminent intercollegiate sailing events in the nation, as 10 co-ed teams from across North America compete in this prestigious one-design keelboat regatta. Sponsored by the Port of LA, come watch teams enjoy a series of thrilling races over 3 days in the challenging seas off Point Fermin. Crews will sail in the Long Beach Sailing Foundation fleet of 37-foot Catalina sailboats and identical matched and maintained vessels, relying on each crew's skill and strategies to win the title. The Port of LA Harbor Cup runs March 10th through the 12th at the LA Yacht Club in San Pedro. For a full schedule of events, visit layc.org/harbor-cup. The community is invited to meet members of the Los Angeles Police Department Harbor Division at the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium for Coffee with a Cop. The mission of Coffee with a Cop is to break down the barriers associated with police work and allow for relaxed, informal one-on-one interactions in a friendly atmosphere. Taking time to meet at a neutral location provides the opportunity for real conversations about issues that matter and gives residents a chance to sit down with officers. The event is family-friendly and open to the public. In addition to meeting your local police officers, stick around to visit the aquarium, a beloved gem in San Pedro. The Cabrillo Marine Aquarium and LAPD Harbor Division Coffee with a Cop happens Sunday, March 12th at 10 a.m. For more info, log on to the events page at cabrillo-marineaquarium.org. Get an early look into best-selling author Sarah Lohman's latest and much-anticipated book, Endangered Eating: America's Vanishing Food, at the Los Angeles Central Library. Lohman is a culinary historian that focuses on the history of food as a way to access the stories of diverse Americans while investigating the food traditions in danger of being lost. At this special live event, she will share stories of her travels from local adventures in California's Coachella Valley to Lummi Island in Northwest Washington. Don't miss this early look into Endangered Eating: America's Vanishing Food with author Sarah Lohman, Saturday, March 11th at 10:30 a.m. at the Los Angeles Central Library's Mark Tabor Auditorium. Log on to lapl.org/events for more information. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitywiew.org, and we're also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.